Sheffield versus Wolves. At the same time, Leicester was playing Brighton. It was Brighton versus Leicester. And they were interesting games. I don't want to lie. They were really interesting games. Actually, nice to watch. For a friend who was like watching from outside, the game between Wolves and Sheffield started with just that zeal of like two goals were scored in 5 minutes. If I have to just explain what happened, so after that, after the two goals, then that's when they like settled down, started playing football. So just to say, after the two goals that were scored, the ball was just moving as slowly as it could just to finish up the ball because the game was already finished for Wolves. And as much as Sheffield tried to attack, they never really gave actually a better attack to actually have a chance to score. But my thing was not like my focus was not really on the Sheffield game. That one we know about it. We were actually interested to see the Liverpool fan, the Chelsea game versus Brighton, because I remember we talked about Chelsea few weeks back when we were talking about all their signings and stuff like that, all the players that were brought by the club. So it was out of curiosity to see how they are gonna be like, because I remember their next animal, if I might say, their next team that they're playing after this game that they were playing against Brighton, it's Liverpool. Liverpool, who had one of the worst games in this Premier League when they played on Saturday against Leeds United, the newly promoted club. So the game of Liverpool and Leeds, we knew that it had history, but not to this extent, if I might say. That's like what some people are saying, like random friends who are really were not supporting either the teams. So there are a lot of things that happened in the game. Interesting. We were really impressed with some of the players who were playing for Chelsea, especially players like Reece James, players like who can I say? Timo Werner. Yeah, Timo Werner was okay, which he really didn't have one of the best games, but for the way he was playing, any person can actually stand for him and say that he was okay, because remember it is his first time in the Premier League. Even though he has been there with the club, I felt like he was actually now getting an idea of what Chelsea's cultural way of playing is like, which is going to be put into a test when they are playing Liverpool, who are not really on form, if we have to remind people about. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So one thing that I was really curious to find, remember we were told that players like Hakim Ziyech was not going to be in the game because he was injured. According to what we were told, he was injured. At the same time, Thiago Silva was not going to be in the game as well. Reason why Thiago Silva was not going to be in the game, it's because he was still sorting up all, I think maybe it's the way of living in London. Remember, he's moving from France to a new country, so the process might actually take some time for a player to actually get to settle down and stuff like that. So the only players who were signed who were in the game, I really don't know why they didn't put. This was just out of my own curiosity. I didn't know why they didn't put this guy. What's his name, from Leicester? The Ben Chilwell from Leicester. That part didn't really make sense for me. I was wondering why he wasn't put, but he was not in the game. At the same time, I really didn't know why is that. Okay, maybe Ben Chilwell, maybe there was some reasons we were never really told by Lampard, but he was not there. Maybe he's not yet suiting the type of player that Frank Lampard wants, or maybe it was a player that was signed by the club where himself as the manager was not really interested in him playing. So, like the title of the video is saying, what did you think about the performance of Chelsea yesterday, guys? Do you think, because all the Chelsea fans, I really do watch a lot of videos, like looking at how football terrace goes, football terrace and other things that happens. I really watch what they talk about, especially the panelists of a lot of Chelsea fans, the excitement in those people's eyes because of this game and whatever that was happening in terms of their games. They were really excited into a form that they were saying that we are gonna do so well and we are unstoppable and stuff like that. There were a lot of things that were said. So all those things, we were just curious to see how much of what their fans were saying out of buying players. They bought a lot of players, I think around 200 or more K. 200 or more K millions that was used to bring that club together, and from that we expected more from the team. So that's what we were there to find out. And I don't know if we really did get our answer, but it was an interesting game. So I want to hear your thoughts, guys, your views for the game, and tell me, how do you see this team and where do you expect them to be next? Because remember, okay, maybe they were not really tested that much, but if you look at the game, let me try to show you what some of the stats that are still there from the yesterday's game between Chelsea and Brighton. So we are into my screen that we were using yesterday for the watch along. I hope it was okay. Give your thoughts if you did watch the game. How did you think about this new thing we were using, this new application we were using to actually show how the game was going? I want to hear your thoughts on that as well. So okay, at the same time, let me just switch on the lines right now, because that part I haven't done that. But let me show you this thing so that I can switch on the line, so that if you want to call Skype calls, you can do that. Then we talk about whatever you thought of the game and what you expected from Chelsea, and did they deliver according to you to the things that you did see in the game? Because yes, it was an interesting game. So this was the Chelsea team. It was Kepa. And you see, because there was no Silva, so I'm wondering who's gonna be put, like who's going to replace here, because number 4 is the captain of Chelsea, right? Yeah, I think so. Then at the same time, N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, and Loftus-Cheek, Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and Mason Mount. So looking at this team of Chelsea, looking at how they were playing yesterday, let me show you the stats. This was tracking the game. I think it's just going to show us some of the things that happened. I felt like there were some players who were in the game who in a way looked like they were lost. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Not like the way they had a bad game, but yeah, some they really did a bad game, but some really looked like they were lost. I don't know if you understand what I mean. They looked like they were really lost. So as you can see, yeah, I think this is just for the opposition. Let us see the information we have. This was exactly the ball position. Brighton had 52 and Chelsea had 48. Let me go back here. Brighton had 50. Can you believe this? They had 52 ball position and Chelsea had 48. If you look at this sum of the position, it's almost like the same that Liverpool got against Leeds. I'm not trying to compare the clubs. I'm just trying to show you what I was seeing here. The most dangerous attacks, most of them were coming from Brighton side, which was 29%. Chelsea had 25%. The dangerous attacks Chelsea were leading by 27 to 26. Like save balls we are talking when they were just moving the ball behind so that they can actually go for a serious attack. It seems like Chelsea were dominating there as well. But in all, the position was morely of Brighton. Chelsea were just chasing the ball. They were second to the ball. Somebody actually said it in one of the videos that I was watching, was actually agreeing that even though the team played, this is how it was like for them. At the same time, there were players that I felt maybe Frank Lampard would have done something better, but he didn't. Like the serves that were done, Kepa, as you can see, there were 2 serves for both clubs. At the same time, shots on target for Chelsea were 5, and for Bournemouth were 3, and corner kicks, Bournemouth was leading. Shot off targets were 4-0, attempts 7-5, and blocks 4-3. So players like Timo Werner never had a bad game, if I may say. It wasn't really a bad game if you look at it though. It wasn't really a bad game. He really did play. He was actually, for his first game in the Premier League, it was amazing, and we hope to see more from him. So that was the game. It came out, Chelsea won by 3-1, which it was okay, if I may say. So that was amazing. These are just our votes that if you actually look, I actually did vote. I don't know if they can show that. I actually did vote for Chelsea to win because we expected them to win. And yes, you can see here the shots on target and everything. I did show you this thing yesterday before I did go off the watch along. If you were there, I think you know what I'm talking about because I had people connecting and going out. So let's talk about player rating. Looking at them now, just from what we had, it was interesting, an interesting game, I have to say, guys. The reason why I'm talking too much about this game is because I'm gonna try by all means. I think in the next thing, just try to use the best player of Chelsea. Without wasting time, let's go back to that. I think I don't have to explain a lot of it. The best player for Chelsea yesterday, if I have to say something, I have to say it was Jorginho. Jorginho, why he played so well. He did try to work so hard to control the game here in terms of the midfielder, because Loftus-Cheek was lost. N'Golo Kante was not in the game. Kai Havertz, I think, is still working himself to get used to the Chelsea way of playing football. At the same time, he only had, I think, about a week or less than that since he went in the club, so it's gonna take time for him to actually be there. And Mason Mount, I don't even know why he spent the whole game in the why was there in the whole game. He finished the whole game because he was really confused. Where was Pulisic? Let me see. I think Pulisic was there in the substitutes, if I'm sure, or what. Let me check something. This were the substitutes of this. Oh, it seems like he was not there. There was Hadoyo, so who came in. I think he came in for Kai, which was weird. Mason Mount didn't have a good game, I have to say, guys. It was just one of those. Ross Barkley came and really did change the game. Yeah, in fact, I started seeing Chelsea at their comfort, like controlling the game better when Ross Barkley came in the game. He was now working so well with Jorginho to do whatever they were doing to control the game, because they were already leading by 3-1, if I remember well. But all in all, Southampton was perfect. Adam Lallana, wow, what a debut for the club. He played so well, even though he didn't score, and I think he went out because of an injury. I hope he gets better, but they were really playing, guys. They were really attacking. You, if you think I'm lying, you can go recheck the watch along. You can see all the things that I'm talking about. It was an amazing game, and I was really impressed with the way these guys were playing, because nobody were actually betting on them. Even me, I wasn't betting on them, because Chelsea, remember, it's a new Chelsea. A lot of people have been changed, and I think in somehow, some way, Chelsea were lucky in a way. There are some points where they got away with murder, if that's how I have to say it. They got away with murder. So I don't know. We have to see, guys. We have to see in terms of how this game will go. But I want to hear from you guys. How did you see the game, and what did you expect? Were your expectations met by Chelsea? Because that's one thing that all of us, we were curious to find out. Did you enjoy the game? Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new. If you are joining us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe. It helps us a lot. At the same time, don't forget to like. Thank you for for people who have liked already. So, were you impressed by the game? What did you expect? I want to hear your thoughts, your comments, so that we can move on to the next of whatever that is happening. But before we go anywhere, I think there was a comment in the video that I did before. Let me see if I can reach it in a way, so that I try to show you. I try to read the comment for you. I was talking about the transfer, and I know the man is one person who doesn't like people to talk a lot about Koulibaly, if I may say, especially if there are rumors which are not correct. I think he's one person who's so close to the player and stuff like that. We have to see. I'm expecting to hear a lot of things from him. Let me check that. But were you in terms of Chelsea fans, what did you feel about the game? Did it really meet all your standards and what you were expecting in the game? That's one thing that I'm actually wondering, because you have to hear if the players, if the team really did enjoy the game. Let me click this one. No, I think that's not the one. This was yesterday. Watch along. I need to click the game, the video that I did earlier today. Do I have it anywhere close? Everton. So I want to hear from you guys. I'm waiting for your comments. I'll be checking exactly when there's a new comment, and tell me what you thought of the game, so that we can actually start or maybe try to analyze the game more better from your thoughts and whatever you'll be saying to us, guys. Okay, let me go straight inside here to the studio. It was an interesting game. I really did enjoy it. I expected more, but not really what I got. And in fact, you have to understand that. Remember, Akim Ziyech was picked up a knock, and there was an error by Kepa, by the way, which most of the people, like Chelsea people, were focusing on, saying that why was this happening? Why is this? They let this continue. There was an error that was picked up. Was it? Should I call it like an error or what? I think I can say like an error as such, which happened during the game, which led to the goal where the ball bounced in front of the Chelsea keeper, and it went straight in the gate. So a lot of people were complaining about that. That why would keeper do such a crazy thing when we expect him to control the ball or at least keep the club in the game? He does that. So I don't know. I felt like he had an amazing game, though. Or maybe he wasn't really challenged that much. So it's interesting to find out what happened. So this is the comment that's saying Napoli deadline or Manchester City City will get out what Napoli is asking for, or he will move to PSG or stay in Napoli. No more useless games. Okay. So let me just show you. This is coming from Mr. Lee. So okay. So this is the comment, guys. You're seeing in the back room. So this is what he's saying. Napoli deadline or Manchester City will get out what Napoli is asking, or he will move to PSG or stay at Napoli. No more useless games. So what is happening, sir? Let me try to explain what exactly is happening here. Napoli as such. Should I say Napoli? No, not really Napoli as such. Yes, Napoli have set a deadline. What we were told, that they are saying that for them they are gonna give a deadline to this team, that if they don't sign Koulibaly in this time, like next week, the week that is coming, if they don't sign Koulibaly, then it's over for them. They are cancelling it out and they are moving on to the next players and stuff like that. So there's a deadline for Manchester City and PSG, and for no reason Manchester United are angry that Napoli let what's his name Jorginho go to Chelsea rather than them. That's why they are angry. That's why they're not doing the business and stuff like that, which is just crazy. I don't really understand what is that all about. But we have to wait and see. What we are talking about is the new Premier League. Remember, the Premier League is back, people. I had my own predictions, which I have to say were the worst. I don't know. Let me hear your thoughts and your comments down in the comments below. And if you are new to the page, please subscribe, like this video, and tell me what you think. How was Chelsea for you? Were you impressed? At the same time, how do you see the game of Chelsea and Liverpool going? Because tomorrow, or is it tomorrow, the day after, I think, or maybe later this evening, I want to cover some of the team of the week, like looking at all the players that played the team of the week. At the same time, after looking at the team of the week, I want to look at the players that impressed this week, that deserve, at the same time looking for the game of the week. I think people are just gonna call it. So those are the things that I'm gonna be covering here, so that you should expect for that. It's starting around 10. I'm gonna set a reminder exactly after this, guys, so that maybe we can talk about it, so that I hear what impressed you the most, guys, so that we see where we go with this. But also, I don't want to lie. This was a good game, and thank God Chelsea won, because that's that's enough confidence for them to look in front to where they're going. And as much as they're still waiting for a new keeper, I feel like keeper needs to change, even though the coach is saying that he is not going anywhere. Did you hear, like, Sports at 10? He actually said that keeper was a good keeper. He was impressed with him, and he's not going anywhere. He's Chelsea's goalkeeper, which of course most of us we expect a manager to be saying, but he did say that, like, seriously, saying that we shouldn't be thinking about whatever that is going to happen in terms of Chelsea and the new comers and stuff like that. In terms of a keeper, we have to wait and see what happens on that. But I think as much as we can say we may try to hurt or say a lot of things, it was a good game for Chelsea, and I was really, really impressed with what happened. So we have to wait and see what happens in terms of now looking forward to the next games. And one thing that I think I learned from this, I don't know if the Chelsea fans did see that, having a lot of players in the team, like no, like buying a lot of players in in a particular transfer window doesn't like usually guarantee that you will do so well in the next coming season. You might say I'm saying this too soon. Let's see in the games that are coming. I think it will answer your questions more often because your game was low. Maybe there were no a lot of starting players, but your game was low. We expect it to be better against Liverpool. And remember, there is a fight between Jurgen Klopp and Lampard from last season's game, the final game, which was played at Anfield, where Liverpool won by 5 goals to 3, if you remember. So that could be something that might be continuing, and to actually be something that continues even to this season. That's what I think, and that's what I'm expecting to see. So we have to wait and see what happens in terms of that, and if they're going to work together in terms of the games that are going to be played. That is going to be interesting, guys, to see, and I hope that they might actually work well. I don't know your thoughts. Remember, I'm waiting for your thoughts to hear what you guys think and what you were expecting and how it came for you. But even though, because I've already covered as much as I wanted to say, there's actually not a lot to talk about, unless you're a Chelsea fan who has a lot of things that you want to take out of your chest, who you felt it was good and was bad. But like I said, I felt like N'Golo Kante was not in the game, guys. I didn't see him. I tried, but I didn't see him. But he was in there in the whole game until it ends. But Jorginho, I did see his impact, even with the penalty. It's just the Bruno Fernandes type of penalty. Nobody can actually catch that. I'm yet to see a keeper who can save a Bruno Fernandes or this guy Jorginho's penalty. We've always known about the penalty from Jorginho, but I was surprised from people yesterday, like in the Premier League, people who were saying that we've seen this from Bruno Fernandes. Like they didn't know that Jorginho was always doing these things, which is weirdly because people don't really take like more. They don't look at players more because they are into lesser teams, or maybe they underrate some of the players, which is just weird. I don't understand, but we have to wait and see what happens. At the same time, the goal that was scored by James is just above this world. It reminded me of the Leicester City versus Manchester City in 2018-19, where Manchester City won the league by 1 point, where when Company was still there, where he kicked that ball, what a killer. Exactly, that's how that ball reminded me of. It was an amazing shot, which means that for the youngster, seems like it's really good in terms of these big shots, and that actually applies for England to actually start calling him to their national teams and stuff like that. It's something that I'm expecting to be happening very soon in terms of the next coming international breaks and stuff like that. But all in all, it was a good games. It was a good game, and I feel like it was a good game for Chelsea fans. But for us who were watching it on the neutral, it caused us a little bit to feel sleepy in a way. I don't know. I hope that changes. I don't know. We'll see. I think there'll be a more serious game against Liverpool, where both the clubs will be challenged. Remember, Liverpool having a lot of defensive issues, which moves me to the next story that I wanted to talk about. My question is that what can change Liverpool, the way they're playing, what can actually improve them to actually produce something that is tangible? Because the way they played yesterday, it was suspicious. I have to say, I wasn't really impressed by them. I didn't even know what was going on. It was on Saturday. I'm saying yesterday. On Saturday, I was actually confused. What is Liverpool doing? Yes, okay, Mohamed Salah had a good game. And I think in the whole team is actually the only player that I can take out who had a good game. And Robertson as well, not really bad, but it was good. But that's the only person that I can take for you. Mohamed Salah, his second goal was just above this world. I know he scored the other two with penalties, but his second goal was just above this world. It actually reminded me of the Aubameyang goal that he scored as well against Fulham. So it's going to be an interesting Premier League season. The only team we didn't see of right now is Manchester City and United and Aston Villa. And which team is that? That one? Is it Burnley or something? I think it's Burnley. So we have to see what happens. But also, Liverpool, they need to change in terms of how they're playing football. Because if we want to do something like win something that is tangible this season, after 2 seasons of winning trophies, we might be disappointed this season if they continue with the type of game that they had, because I felt like it was just too much. You can't expect that from the Premier League champions playing with a team that has just been promoted to the first league. I know that maybe I'm not supposed to say a lot of things about the club and stuff like that, but in terms of like they are still the champions of England and stuff like that. But one way or the other, we knew after the 2 seasons that they had that they were gonna come to a point where they are gonna need to be freshen up, some fresh legs, some fresh signings, so that they can actually play a little bit different from the way they were playing. They can actually try to introduce something new to the club. We expected some transfers to happen, guys. Like all of us were expecting to get at least a forward, a midfielder, and a striker. At least all those 3 people were gonna be doing so well. And I know that there's some of the youngsters who are not going anywhere, who are gonna be in the club next season. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, why are we not getting down with the Thiago Alcantara deal? The player wants us out of all, but we are doing it like we are not interested in the player. But we know that we really do need him. I don't even know what the game that they're trying to play Liverpool, because they're saying that they have no money, but I don't believe Premier League. I believe Premier League did pay them for finishing at the top of the league. At the same time, from Champions League, from where they finished, they were paid as well. Oh, this time we finished in the round of 16, right? Was it? I'm not really sure. I think it's round of 16, which was actually bad for us. So you don't get a lot of money from there, but at the same time, they need to do something. FSG, I expect you guys to actually do something that is tangible with this team. If we are going to compete, we are playing with Chelsea. I feel like that game is the game that we need to see what's exactly what is next for the team. We want to see where we are focusing or where we want to go as a team, and that game is going to be the game that shows us the way, if I may say. Because if you look at from pre-season to where we are, all the games that were played and the games that I did some watch along, where people are just saying that relax, man, it's just the pre-season, it's just the pre-season. I wasn't really impressed with the way Liverpool were playing. I wasn't really impressed. I did say it, I did show it, and I felt like maybe they needed to do some new signings at least to freshen up the club, but it didn't happen. That didn't happen. So it got me worried a little bit, and I didn't know what to say, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. That's the best thing that I can say for now. We just have to wait and see what happens, because I think time will tell. And Klopp and whatever the body they're working on, if they don't do something about this, they are gonna rip whatever they have set to sow here in this game. It's gonna be an interesting game between Chelsea and Liverpool. I'm gonna cover it more, trying to look at the history and whatever that's gonna come next. We're gonna talk about it more and try to find out what is happening. So as much as I was waiting for you guys to hear your comments, it feels like some of you maybe you are not really here, or maybe didn't see the reminder and stuff like that. So okay, we'll meet again. You can always watch this, then I'll read your comment like I just did the one before. But before I go, I think I need to cover a little bit, because there's some interesting news that just came in the transfer news before I disappear from this. And the first one is coming from Tottenham. Let me show you in the screen what is happening in the world of transfers. But let me hear your thoughts about both Chelsea and Liverpool. How do you see them playing for next season? So the first transfers that Tottenham are passing in together a lucrative deal for Napoli's Akio Milk. Jose Mourinho has made the Napoli striker a top target, and Spurs are ready to offer him 90 90k a week, which is 90k pounds a week. That's from Football Insider, but we don't really know if there's been an agreement between the clubs though. Marshal Kumbala is on the verge of joining AS Roma from Verona. He will sign a 5-year contract at the club, sources Fabiano Romero. So if it's from Romero, it has to be legit, guys. Trust me, I know this man. He only brings in like legit stories. And the breaking news that I can say, this is the breaking news to all Arsenal fans. I think you should be happy now. Finally, he has signed he has signed a date. He has signed a date. I don't know, a dating. I think that's what I was trying to say there. Pierre Emile Aubameyang has put a pen on a paper on a new contract at Arsenal, keeping him at the club until 2023. The source is Arsenal, so that has to be legit because it's coming from the club. At the same time, Dundee West Brom have signed the former Chelsea defender Brozovic on 1 year contract deal. So those are the transfers that we have, and the biggest of them all is the Aubameyang transfer. I think it's gonna help a lot the team, and it's not. Should I say the team? Not really the team. It's gonna help a lot, especially to build up the player under Arteta. He wanted to actually make sure that he keeps Aubameyang, because Aubameyang, we know, is a striker who scores. He actually did show it in the Fulham game that whenever he's faced with the keeper or with the gate, he scores goal. So that has to be a powerful boost. At the same time, Tottenham are still on the verge of searching for a striker, which they are trying to improve earlier as possible, because you did see the game against Everton, guys, and we still need to talk about that game. I know that there are some people that I need to hear Mr. Elliot here. They need to tell me as much as I want to tell them something that I did see in the game, what they thought of the game and what they were expecting and what they got in the game, because that's one thing that is also missing. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, guys. But as much as we always tell you, the Football Connect will always keep you updated with all the information that comes in, and we'll all say what we think and expect to hear from you guys, because it is a free show. I want to hear what you think, guys. It helps us a lot to hear your thoughts in terms of the games and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see what happens, guys. And that Aubameyang sign is going to be interesting for the London clubs. Tottenham, I think, is the club that is a little bit on the less in terms of the London clubs, which needs to change. They need to bring somebody so that they can actually do something better. But without wasting any time, guys, I have been Sam and you have been you guys, which is weird what I'm saying, but thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you again later on, when I'll be talking about the preview of the whole games, just covering all in all, looking at the team that I'm choosing as the team of the week, looking at the players that impressed me a lot. I'm gonna do that all and just give you what I expected. It was an interesting game, and for some people who captain people like Salah and who else, William, in their teams, or maybe they put people like William in their teams. Who else? Jorginho, which I don't think a lot of people did. The other one is coming from this one from Newcastle, Callum Wilson. If those type of players were in your team, guys, congratulations. I think you got a lot of points from that, and you can actually moving on to the next while smiling, because they really did do their best to live in their thoughts. Hello, Mr. Mobin, how are you doing, sir? So I was talking about Chelsea and Arsenal. No, Chelsea and Liverpool. Looking at it, is the biggest game that is coming in the week 2 of the Premier League. I was just talking about how the teams were like and how they impressed me. So I want to hear your thoughts. What did you thought of the games? Did you watch either of the games, and what impressed you? Like, and what disappointed you? Like, for me, I was disappointed by the Liverpool game. I don't even know what was happening in that game. The Tottenham game as well, I expected more from Tottenham, but in fact, the other player from the fantasy is James Rodriguez and Decore and those people that were there. They were just simply amazing, guys. So I think you had a nice time, but I was really disappointed with the way these guys were playing. It was really bad. I don't even know what's happening. I think something has to happen in Liverpool, Mr. Mobin. If we are going to do anything with this season, we need to sign at least fresh blood, which is going to challenge for the jerseys. Now, people like Van Dijk are making mistakes that we've never seen before. I think, let me just say, all these things, I'll save them for the show that I'm doing tonight, when I'll be covering off for the best and the worst players of the game, of this first week, and the good and the captain and the players who were actually the best, and the players were average. I won't be saying them all by name, but I'll give you the team of the week. At the same time, I'll give you the information that is to come, because it was an interesting game. Well, we are still learning to find out about the Leeds United team, but there were some interesting players there as well. something that we need to look at as well when we are choosing the team of the week. So set up your own team of the week. I want to see it as well, so that when we talk at 10, we can see whatever you are saying or whatever you are agreeing with me in terms of the teams and the players and the way the games were played. So this has been Sam, and I will meet again on another video, because I feel like Mr. Mobin is either typing something or maybe is busy. But in anywhere we can always meet at 10, because like I said, I'll be back again here at 10, and we'll talk. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy, because I do videos like this almost each and every, oh, not almost, each and every day, in fact, if I say. So don't forget to subscribe, show your support to the page, and don't forget to like if you enjoy, and don't forget to share on your social pages, if I may say, because it helps us a lot, which is something that I need to do exactly after this video, so that people can look at it, at the rewatch of the games and stuff like that. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to meet you on another video. This has been Sam. Like I just said, don't forget to subscribe and like and share. This is what helps us to actually